Welcome to the All Facts Matter podcast, where we push back against corporate media propaganda with facts, evidence, and data. I'm Peter, the author of All Facts Matter. Let's begin. If we take the opening paragraph of the Bureau of Labor Statistics November Job Openings and Labor Turnover Summary Report at face value, the month was more or less a news nothing burger. Job openings were little changed. Hires were little changed. Separations were little changed. Oh, layoffs and discharges changed little. Alas, for the American worker, what little changed really means is that the job outlook in this country is continuing to deteriorate. In manufacturing especially, November was not a month that contained much in the way of employment holiday cheer, as the bad news from October only got worse. Now, if one follows the usual corporate media propaganda regarding the job openings report, the report showed continued strength in the U.S. economy, as November was a month of increased job openings. November was the second month in a row that job openings had increased. Now, job openings are good, right? They are a sign the economy is doing well. Aren't they? No, they are not. Not when they are accompanied by a decline in hiring, which they were. And the decline is for the second month in a row. Job openings are of no use to anyone, and certainly of no value to the economy, when they are not translated into actual job placements. That is to say, when they are turned into actual hiring. Now, further making a mockery of the increased job openings is the reality that, just as was the case in October, even though the number of quits continue to trend down, the number of layoffs continued to trend up. People are less willing to leave their jobs now than in months past. And companies are compensating for this by firing them and pushing them out the door anyway. Neither of these trends speaks of a confident and robust jobs market where jobs are plentiful. Less hiring, less quits, more layoffs. Three trends which call BS on the increase in job openings. As has been the case so often since COVID, the job openings data is almost surely fake. The reported job openings might as well not exist. And the November JOLTS report had absolutely no love for manufacturing, for even the job openings data showed a drop. Hires, of course, they dropped again as well. For the second month in a row. And hires has been declining in manufacturing since early 2022. Now, this decline in hires makes it a cold comfort that the total separations in manufacturing also went down. Also for the second month in a row. And while the layoffs and quit figures for manufacturing both notched declines for the month, overall, the trends are still moving in the same direction as for total layoffs and total quits. It's going up for layoffs and going down for quits. Job openings were down, hires were down, quits were down, layoffs were up. With trends like these, it comes as no surprise that net hiring for manufacturing was once again in the negative. And as readers may recall from last month, net hiring for manufacturing has softened greatly since 2022. Moreover, if we zoom in on 2024, we can see that net hiring for manufacturing has been negative almost all year. There's only been 3-4 months that hiring has been positive. Every other month, manufacturing has lost jobs, per the JOLTS report. Now, all of this only serves to further confirm my thesis from the other day, that 2024 has been a year of decline for U.S. manufacturing. Certainly, we can see that it has been a decline for manufacturing employment. And the more data we gather, it seems, the more manufacturing declines. This is not a good thing. And while a decline in manufacturing is never a good thing, there would be some tempering of the bad news with some good if there were at least some positive trends in hiring in other sectors. But there are not. There is no good hiring news anywhere. While private education and health services had been trending up earlier in the Biden-Harris administration, in 2024, the hiring trend has been down, and that trend was continued in November. Construction also soured in 2024. It had been trending down and had even begun to stage what looked like it might have been a bit of a recovery in late 2023, but in early 2024, it turned south again and has continued to move south. Trade and transportation and utilities has been getting worse since early 2021. And even professional services has not fared well. It got worse again in November, and it's been in decline since sometime in mid-2022. Leisure and hospitality is perhaps the one category that is arguably good news for November, because the number of hires actually increased. And it has been staging something of a recovery in recent months. But even its long-term trend is still very much down and has been in decline since sometime in mid-2021. And even government, which is often a mainstay of hiring when even the economy is tough, has been trending down since 2023. It trended down again in November and has been steadily retreating from a peak in January of 2023. Now, when all major employment sectors are showing declining hiring trends, what else can we call that but a jobs recession? As readers are well aware, that is what I've been calling it for quite some time. We are in a jobs recession. We have been in a jobs recession. And manufacturing especially has been in a jobs recession, one which is getting worse and not getting better. Our corporate media And the experts prefer to focus on the overall job openings numbers and gloss over the rest of the data in the JOLTS report. As is by now quite apparent, I reject that view. I look at how many people were actually hired in the month, per the report. I look at how many people were actually let go in the month, per the report. I look at how many people actually quit versus how many people were actually let go in the month, per the report. Job openings themselves are little more than an unfulfilled promise. A job opening is a declaration by an employer that it might hire somebody at some time. However, an opening, by definition, means that the employer has not actually hired somebody, and there is no certain commitment that the employer will hire somebody. When we look at the overall hiring and separation trends, it is apparent employers are not hiring. No matter how many job openings they report, they are not hiring. Nor can we overlook the confirmed reality that employers have incentive to game the numbers by padding their job opening stats. You should remember, a presumed inability to staff sufficiently, which a high number of job openings might indicate, is the needed rationale for employers to exploit the much-abused H-1B visa program and other programs to import lower-wage workers from abroad. As readers may recall, that such visa programs are little more than systemic wage theft is all too easily proven by the available data. When these programs are exploited, it hurts the imported foreign workers, and it hurts the native workers, and it reduces the wages of both. And this is empirical fact. This has been proven. Now, in any economy, expansion should mean more jobs, more employment, and rising wages. Without increased employment and increased earnings, there can be no expansion of the middle class, and therefore no expansion of overall consumption. Without increased employment and increased earnings, long-term economic growth simply will not happen. The November JOLTS report does not show employment to be increasing. Rather, the report shows that employment has been steadily decreasing. The report shows that layoffs are rising even as quits are falling. A plausible interpretation for this is that enough people are getting fired to make everyone else more reluctant to risk a job switch. What makes the November JOLTS report particularly damning is the reality that these declines have been printing pretty much throughout 2024 and even before 2024. The decline we see in the November report is the decline we saw in the October report, and the decline we have seen in earlier reports. The BLS says the November JOLTS report is little changed. The BLS said the same thing about the October report as well. Unfortunately, that's been the problem. It's been a continuation of the same downward trends, month on month on month. Now, the BLS is in love with the phrase little changed. It would be more accurate if they had said still getting worse. And that concludes this presentation. I hope you found this podcast helpful and informative. Please like it and share this with your friends. Word of mouth is how I publicize my work. Please also consider making a one-time donation or becoming a paid subscriber to All Facts Matter. Your support is what keeps this work going and I greatly appreciate all of my subscribers. Without you, this work would have no meaning. I encourage everyone to be especially generous with feedback. Leave a word or two in the comment section so that we can keep the discussion going and that we may learn from each other. Thank you all for listening, and have a nice day.